the post-awards session, and welcome back to the folks that were on the morning training on the paid family and medical leave system. We're excited to kick off the afternoon with some important grants management information, as well as get a chance to hear from you all about your organization's mission and your care work. We're thrilled to have you on board as partners this year. Hold on, I'm making sure I'm on the right place. Yes, I am. Apologies. For those of you who were not on the training this morning, there are 24 grantees in the program this year. So we're going to do, I know we said we're going to do some introductions and we're going to cover some grants management topics, but we're going to sort of weave the introductions in throughout the entire afternoon. So we'll likely do introductions in waves of 8. We'll do 3 waves over the course of covering the topics in the grants management portion. So we've got a lot of people to introduce themselves, so we want to make sure we're making time and also getting through the information that you need to be successful in administering this grant. And then finally, at the end of the grants management information and the introductions, we'll spend time this afternoon with some unstructured breakout sessions. This will be an opportunity for you to meet your fellow grantees and share successes that you've had, challenges that you've had with outreach, share tips to be successful, and maybe even share resources and ways to collaborate with one another. After the breakout, we will make sure, as always, to save time for Q&A as well. We recognize that the post-award session this day is a long day. We try to build in breaks where possible, but we have lots of information to get through, so please take the time you need throughout the session to get water or use the restroom. Feel free to step away if you need it. We just also ask that you please keep your mic muted unless speaking or asking questions. And our team will make sure to keep an eye on the chat for any questions, concerns, or comments that come through. And then finally, we will be sure to provide a recording and a copy of these slides next week through the weekly digest. So don't feel like you need to rush and write down every piece of information you hear. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to take some time throughout the afternoon to do some introductions of the various organizations and collaboratives that are in the program this year. Given that we have 24 organizations and collaboratives, like I mentioned, we're going to do these introductions in 3 waves of 8. So I'll ask each organization to spend about 3 minutes introducing themselves and their role, introduce your organization or collaborative and the mission of your organization and collaborative, and then just give us some high-level overview of your outreach plans under the CARE grant. It could just be we plan to do sort of trainings, or we plan to do tabling events, or we're going to conduct a survey of small businesses. It just has to be a few high-level details of your work plan, just so that everybody gets a general sense of the activities that you're going to be doing over the course of the year. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Give me 1 second. All right. And I think the first organization I have on my list to do an introduction is Employers Association of New Jersey. I think
me.
Amy. Okay.
I'm here. Yes. Hi, everybody. Amy Vasquez. I am the Vice President of the Employers Association of New Jersey. I am thrilled to be back for our 2nd year as CARE grantees. Just a little bit about Employers Association, or EANJ as we're known. We are a nonprofit trade association. Our members are employers located throughout the state, all industries, all sizes. And our mission as a nonprofit is to help good employers be better, right? We do this in a number of ways. We do a lot of training. We do outreach. We have one-on-one discussions with our members. It can be tough navigating the employment laws that apply here in New Jersey. So we serve as a resource to help guide employers so that they can ensure that they're in compliance and that they don't run afoul of the law. So, as grantees, last year we spent a good amount of time traveling the state and hosting sessions on family leave insurance, temporary disability benefits, and earn sick leave. And this year, we're very excited to expand that into the work rights. That's going to be one of our key focuses this coming session. And we plan to do some of the same things, you know, doing that outreach, doing that in-person training, reaching out to other groups of other trade associations where they bring their employers together, where we can go in and talk to them about, you know, what they need to do and make sure that they're aware of these things and that they're offering sick leave and that they're, even though they're super small, that their employees are eligible for temporary disability and family leave insurance. Another thing we'll be doing this year as part of the grant is a employer survey to gauge awareness, specifically focused in on earned sick leave. So we are very excited about that. We'll also want to get from them information on their pain points, right? Like where is the employer struggling in all of this? Because, you know, these are, you know, obviously laws that are meant to provide rights to workers, but without that employer awareness and understanding and helping them navigate, you know, the employee is at risk of not being able to take advantage of these things. So our whole focus is on employer awareness. So I think that's it for me. Again, very happy to be back and be here with the CARES team.
Thank you, Amy. And I forgot to mention at the top, if everybody could just take a minute and maybe just drop your name and your organization into the chat and introduce yourselves. It will just help us to like make sure everybody's getting sorted into breakout groups later, but also give you a chance to see all the different organizations laid out in the chat who's a part of the program this year. So if you just take a minute to do that, and I think the next person on the list, next organization on the list for introductions I have is the Hoboken Public Library. Miss Allie.
Hi, I'm here. Emily is here too, I think. I'm not sure if she can speak or not. Oh, hi, there you are. Hi, we're so thrilled to be returning grantees. We were able to do a lot of great work at direct service at the library last year, helping people with unemployment insurance applications, answering questions, connecting them to the resources that they need through the DOL. And this year we're excited to continue doing that, and as well as expand to workers' rights as well. And we're going to hopefully do some workshops and invite the thing that I'm most excited about, and Emily I'll hand it over to you after. I wonder if we're both most excited about the same thing. For me, it's doing some workshops with folks who have been assisted by the library, who'll be able to talk about their experiences and help people. But yeah, if you want to share anything, Emily, go right ahead.
I'm excited for the same thing and excited to do this grant and do more technical assistance this year.
Thanks.
Great, thank you both. The next organization I have on the list for introductions is Hopes. Is I think Evelyn here?
Hi, yes,
Hi.
I am. How are you all? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity to be funded again by the Department of Labor. Hopes, well, first of all, hello to my Hoboken Public Library people. How are you? So while we are in Hoboken, we service all of Hudson County, Union County, and Somerset. And this year our focus is on unemployment. We've been doing the work for so many years, and we were able to get funding for this cause. It's important because many people come to us always asking us to advocate for them, assist them with the applications, letting them, helping them understand how could they get ready for tax season. So we're gonna do a lot of that stuff, and it's gonna be great, especially because we got the funding. I just wanted to introduce two of my staff members that are on the call right now. One of them is Ann Curry Danaus, and she's in Somerset. And then my other one is Tiffany Johnson, who's in my Hoboken office. And then my other person, who is from Union County, unfortunately is on vacation. So I apologize, but she will be on future trainings. So anyway, I'm glad I'm back. Thank you all. I mean, Caroline and Lance are amazing. And you know, oh, I'm sorry. And I also have Janetta Jack on the call, which is our finance person. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I look forward to working with all of you. Have a great day.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the upcoming grant cycle. Thank you, Evelyn. And nice to meet everybody else from Hopes. I'm not sure if we met previously, but nice to see you again if we have. Okay, next organization on the list I have is Make the Road New Jersey. I'm not sure who's here from Make the Road, so apologies.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea
Hello.
Long. I'm with Make the Road New Jersey. We are an immigrants' rights organization with locations in Passaic, Elizabeth, and Perth Amboy. We also do work in Newark. And so we are a membership organization primarily of Latinx immigrants. And our membership helps decide the efforts of the organization and what topics we're going to take on. And we also do a significant amount of worker organizing work around changing policies, which is not related to this grant. But what we're going to be doing for the CARE grant, we're going to be engaging in outreach and workshops to educate folks on sick leave, wage theft, and the Temporary Workers Bill of Rights. And all of our program staff is Spanish speaking. So this is, the primary community that we are doing our outreach to.
Great, thank you, Andrea. Next organization I have on the list is Motion Center for Independent Living. Susan here? Yes, she is.
Yes. Hi, thank you for having me. So Motions is a consumer-driven, consumer-controlled organization that provides supports for adults who are living with disabilities, primarily physical disabilities and intellectual disabilities. This is actually our second year being funded. We had some organizational changes, so I'm taking over for Emily. But she's still, she's in a different department, but can still help me with my learning curve. I will be primarily doing tabling events, education, and she's actually overseeing internship grant. So it'll be a nice way to connect with the young workers entering the workforce to kind of explain their rights right up front. And I would like to say a shout out to my Hoboken peers. My husband was born and raised in Hoboken. He likes to go there and stand on the Little League field because he had a 1969 Gallows win. And he was there with Maria Pepe, was like, breaking boundaries, breaking the boundaries for women. Oh yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. The next organization I have on the list is North Hudson Community Action Corporation. I'm not sure if anybody's here from them. I'm sorry, I don't see Marcia. All right, why don't we keep going? The next organization I have is Perinatal Health Equity. I thought I saw Tasha. There she is.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Nastasia Harris. I'm the founder and executive director of the Perinatal Health Equity Initiative. We are a nonprofit based in Essex County, New Jersey, focused on eliminating inequities in Black infant and maternal health. We are excited to be back for our second year. Our first year was really focused on research and understanding where the gaps were in the usage of the paid leave policies and sick leave policies within the Black community. And so on our second iteration of the grant, we plan to utilize the data that we learned to help structure outreach and fill gaps so that we can support our families. And, in addition to that, we did the traditional tabling and individual application support that families needed, connecting them with resources and a few that needed to go through for discrimination issues as well. So we work very closely with the CARES team and are excited to be back again for year two.
Great, thank you. And then the final organization I have in this round of introductions is Second Street Youth Center.
Good afternoon. My name is Evis Harvey. I'm the Family Community Navigator at Second Street Youth Center. Excuse me. We're located in Plainfield. We're a multi-purpose nonprofit organization seeking to bring about better community relations by providing educational, vocational, recreational activities for youth and adults in the Plainfield community. So we do tabling and we go out and canvass the neighborhood and inform everyone about earned sick leave and their rights. Talk to employers, employees, talk to the families at the center, and also the people in the community.
Wonderful, thank you. Like I said, we're going to do another couple waves of these introductions. But for now, I think we're going to jump into some of the grants management content, which will help you successfully manage the grant over the course of the year. Just give me 1 second, and I'm going to pull up my slides again. Okay. Can everybody see my slides? Can somebody on my team speak if they can see
Yes,
them?
dude.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Caroline, who's going to cover some important information on contracts.
Good afternoon again, everyone. So we are in the contract process. Well, actually, that's not quite true. With many of you, we are still just going back and forth on budget and deliverables revisions. So please get those revisions back. Lance and I will be looking at those next week. So you will hear back from us if we need any further revisions on your budgets and your deliverables. So we've already done this part. We've had our meeting. We've given you your award amounts. Congratulations. We are thrilled you are all here. And we've had that meeting. So we can go on to the next slide. Okay. So the next thing that's actually going to happen once all the revisions are done, we will be getting in touch with your authorized official for your agency. That is basically the person who is going to be signing the CARE grant contract. All our contracts are now done electronically in Sage. So this is a good time for anyone who's on the call who is in charge of the grant just to take a look on your applicant information page, just to make sure that we do have the proper person listed for the contract signatory. And again, I will be in touch with whoever the person is on the grant now. So if need be, we can, update accordingly at that point. But if anyone is thinking maybe that should be different, please get in touch with me. Just send me an email or whatever after the meeting. Okay. Then just so you all are aware as well, once the contract is signed in Sage, you can print out all the documents. And the one thing I do strongly suggest is that everyone who's working directly on the CARE grant, whether you're a program person or you are the fiscal person, to review those contract details. Those are the dates, or the dates are contained in there for when your expense reports are due, which are monthly, the 10th of the month, or your program reports, which are due quarterly, also the 10th of the month. Very important, the grant management is, arguably as important as doing the actual grant work, and we want to keep you on track throughout the course of the grant. And of course, I got off on a little tangent there, but again, the only person who can sign a grant is the authorized official. So your authorized official can't say to another person on the grant, oh, just go in and sign it. The authorized official has to actually do it with their Sage credentials. Very important. Okay. We can go on to the next slide, Lance.
I think the next portion
Oh,
is
is that
for
it?
you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're gonna do
so
this Sage demo.
okay, great. All right. So now
stop
let's assume that we have, signed your contracts. Yay. The good part starts. You can start submitting your expenditure reports, and you can start submitting your program reports, because it does take a little bit of time to get up. and running with the grant. You probably will be 1 or 2 expense reports behind at this time. We totally understand that. We're going to work with you to get that bought current as soon as possible once your contracts are signed. I'm just going to show you very quickly what an expense report looks like, just to familiarize you with it. And am I able to? Oh, I can share my screen, right? Good. Okay. And Lance is also going to drop a document in the chat, which will help some of our newer grantees with the process. And of course, if you're doing an expense report for the first time, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through the process as well. You know, Sage can be a little cranky sometimes, and we're happy to help you navigate around it. One thing I would point out, can you all see my screen? See where it says document landing page? We can't see it yet.
We can't see your screen yet.
Okay. Huh. That's weird. Okay, I'm clicking on it. Is it
There you go.
sharing? Okay, great. Thank you. So this is your in the directions that I sent you, it'll tell you how to get to this page. I'm using a shared environment to show this information. So the way I go into it is just a little bit differently than you will in your grant. So everything on Sage that you need to know can be found on the left-hand side up and down this ribbon. I'll just take a minute to just point out a couple of quick things that you may want to know. Starting at the very top, you can hover over here at any time. This will tell you the name of your grant and your actual grant number should you ever need it for anything. Okay. It'll also tell you what status you're in at your grant, with your grant, whether in your grant application, pending revisions, grant funds encumbered, etc. When you hover over that, you'll get that current status. Now, I'm on the expense report page, so we're going to be looking primarily at this little section here. But we're just going to take a quick sneak down this page here where you see tools. Now, anytime Lance or I send a grant back to you, we're always going to give you notes. We're not going to just expect you to figure out, well, what do they want from us? We got a letter, we got a little note saying that there's something wrong, but what's wrong? Go right into this little notes tab here. Generally, I try to send you an email to let you know that there are things wrong, in the application that need to be changed. But, with the increasing size of the our grantee pool, I might not always be able to give you that. So when you do get a grant return back from us, just know that you can go right into the notes and it will pull up the most recent note sent to you and let you know what you need to take care of within your grant. Okay. Status options button. This is going to become one of your best friends too. Anytime you complete an action in Sage and you want to return it to us, you have to click on the status options button, and the status options will be specific to whatever it is you're doing. If you're returning an application, it'll say return application. If it's submit an expense report, it'll say submit expense report. So that, just know that this is any action that you complete and you want to return it to us, you'll always have to scroll down to the status options and make that change. Okay. All right. So because I'm working on an expense report, that's all I'm going to see is primarily that information. You would also be able to see for our AOs who are on the call, when you go in to sign your contract agreement, there will be a contract tab here and it will walk you through that contract signing process. But I am going to share with you when that time comes for each of you, I'll share a document for you to walk you through Sage as well on how to sign your grant contract in Sage. But back to our expense report. So here I am. I'm working on my March Millersburg expense report. Again, I'm in a shared environment. This isn't necessarily indicative of any of our grantees. So when you click on your expense report, basically what it's done is it's carried over all the categories from the Schedule A, B, and C budget that you entered in Sage and were approved for. So when you're drawing down your funds, you'll see all the different funding categories have carried over as well. Your TDI, your FLI, your UI, your ESL, and your work rights. Now, of course, some of you may have received funding in all 5 categories. Some of you may have received funding in 1, some 2. The only funding categories that you're going to draw down in are the funding categories that are on your notice of award agreement. And again, if you're a new grantee and if you have any questions about that, when you're doing that first expense report, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through the process. Okay. So again, you'll be able to start entering all funds that you've been encumbering since the grant award of June 1. And like I said, we know we're going to be a little bit in arrears, so we may be doing June, July, and August back to back at first. So again, you will enter all your expenses in the applicable categories. You'll go on to the next form. This is the form where you'll upload your supporting documentation, your payroll ledgers, oh, you purchased some office supplies for your grant. You'll upload all that supporting documentation, okay? Once you're done with that, you'll go on to your next form. And this will show you your payment voucher. And basically, this is just the summary page of everything that you entered into your expenditure report. Okay, it'll summarize the different categories where you're drawing down money, the total you've drawn down, and then the most important thing that you'll have to do in order to move the payment voucher ahead, check the payee declaration box up here, just certifying that this payment is true and correct. Okay, so you'll go on to. Just want to see what it does. Now this form won't really mean anything to you. And again, because I'm in a shared environment, this is the form that I get back to know that you were properly paid on the grant. Most times you won't ever need this form, but it is there just so you know. So if you're ever wondering, hey, how come we weren't paid? You can always check that page first. And if you see that there's no information on it, reach out to me right away, especially if we process one of your payments ahead. Now, because you've completed that payment voucher, remember what I said earlier about that little status options box. You would go down to here, and again, I'm in a shared environment, so it's not going to show me the drop-down tab. When you would click on this, it would say Submit Expense Report. You would submit the expense report, send it off to me. I'll receive it, review it, and process it, and either move it ahead or I'll return it to you for revisions if needed. And that is your 5-minute how to do an expense report. Okay, everyone do one now. No, just kidding.
Thank you, Caroline.
You're welcome.
All right. Can I?
Oh, let me stop sharing, right?
Yeah, I think you have to stop so that I can take.
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
No, it's okay.
What I did here to, my screen went away. Oops, sorry, David.
It's okay.
I think I unshared.
Nope.
David, I think if you start sharing again, you can stop sharing first.
I think you are the boss of all sharing. Oh, it will
wait.
not. Does
Oh,
Lance
actually, yes, it will. Never mind. I got it.
Okay.
All right. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, thank you, Caroline, for talking just giving more information about contracts and walking through expense reports. I'm going to also do in a few minutes a demo of the quarterly program reports for everybody as well. But before I get to that, I just wanted to share a few important ways that the CARE grant team stays in contact with grantees and monitors progress over the grant cycle. So first is that we have the weekly digest. This is a weekly email newsletter our team sends out with important dates and updates on the CARE grant, as well as information on the New Jersey Department of Labor initiatives and other state agencies and federal agency initiatives that are relevant to the work you're doing. New organizations, you should have received your first copy of the newsletter a couple of weeks ago. We sent it, like I said, we sent it out weekly. If you have not and would like to be added to the email newsletter list, just please drop a comment in the chat or email us at caregrant@dol.nj.gov, and we will make sure that you are added to the regular weekly email list. And I can't stress enough how important it is to review the weekly digest. It really does contain all the important dates and information you need to be successful throughout the grant cycle. There are two, as Caroline mentioned, there are two different ways of reporting and reporting requirements for the CARE grant, the expenditure reports and the activity reports. They're both submitted through Sage, and the expenditure reports, again, are submitted on a monthly basis. And our grantees, you are all reimbursed for the work you've done on a monthly basis after the reports have been approved by our team. Activity reports, as I mentioned, are submitted on a quarterly basis and include a brief quantitative section and qualitative section. And like I said, I'll review that in a few minutes. The format of the program reports will remain mostly the same as last year. There are also, quarterly meetings and site visits that we have. Site visits are required for new organizations and collaboratives in the program, and they are optional for returning organizations and collaboratives. Our staff will be in contact later this grant cycle about possibly holding a site visit. We usually reach out around November to start scheduling those with you all after you get settled into the grant cycle year. Quarterly meetings are required, and we encourage you to invite any sub-grantees if you're a collaborative. They typically happen about 1 to 2 weeks before the end of the quarter and include important updates on the CARE grant as well as useful trainings for your outreach and education work. Okay, activity reports. So for activity reports, it is broken into 5 different pages or sections in Sage. The first 2 are worker outreach and community partners and employer outreach. These 2 pages, we ask you for data on the number of people you reach in 3 different areas. So the number of people reached through in-person promotion, the number of people reached with education outreach tactics, and the number of people reached through technical assistance. By in-person promotion, we mean direct person-to-person outreach activities such as tabling, canvassing, sharing handouts during an intake process, etc. For education, we need sort of more in-depth information is exchanged. Questions are answered and specific scenarios are discussed with folks. So this could look like a live Q&A over Zoom. It could look like a training or a webinar. This could be making phone calls to people in your membership lists. It could be in-person chats about the program. So it's a more in-depth, like training folks on the programs and educating them on the programs. And then finally, we have technical assistance, which is work directly with, you're working directly with workers, service providers, or employers to ensure success in applying for TDI, FLI, or with complying with or obtaining earned sick leave or various work rights. The remaining sections include social media, mass advertising and mass messaging, outreach events and staff training, and narrative section. For the social media, mass advertising, and mass messaging, this page will be for your any digital or media-based outreach that's done. We understand that this may be difficult to track, especially for paid media, but just do your best to estimate the reach of any sort of mass messaging efforts and social media efforts that you undertake. Outreach events and staff training. This page tracks the number of events and a number of events you may have attended or organized, and the number of staff trained through one of the trainings our team organizes in a quarter. So you may identify a number of events to hold or attend throughout the grant cycle, in addition to workers or employers to reach. This data point gives us another metric to track all the great work you're doing in the field. And then finally, we have the narrative questions. So similar to last year, this will be about 7 or 8 questions, and we ask that you upload those answers as a PDF or a Word document into Sage, and I'll show you that right now. So let me just stop sharing my screen and switch over. Okay. And then switch to this one. Okay, so can everybody see Sage again?
Yes.
Thank you, Lance. So similar to what Caroline showed you, when you open up an activity report, you'll be brought to the document landing page. And again, the blue ribbon on the side is always, your helpful guide. You'll see at the top, there's a header called progress reports. And here are the 5 sections that I mentioned: the worker outreach, social media and mass advertising and mass messaging, community partners and employer outreach, outreach events and staff, and narrative questions. So if we go to each section, and our team needs to do a refresh of this, you'll see that the work rights column has not been added yet, but when we initiate the first quarter report, that will be included here as well. So again, we think about the worker outreach and the community partners and employer outreach in 3 categories: the in-person promotion, the education, and the technical assistance. And we've sort of described those sort of categories here on the report for you as well, so you don't have to sort of remember what each one is for. And in the grid itself, where we ask you to estimate the number of workers reached, we include the examples that I listed out before to help guide you. We know this isn't always going to be apples to apples with your work plan, so just try your best to like find the categories that make the most sense for the different outreach tactics you're engaging in. So we have here a column for TDI-FLI, we have a column here for earned sick leave, we have a column here for unemployment insurance, and then we'll eventually be adding a column here for work rights as well. And then I will go to the community partners and employers outreach, and it's the same thing. We have estimated number of community partners reached. So this is like service providers, so fellow nonprofits in your area or service providers in your area. This includes schools, anything that's not necessarily employer, that's providing direct services into the community that you may be engaging with and training on the programs and rights. And then down here, we have another box that asks you to estimate the number of employers reached through those same 3 categories of tactics that I mentioned before. The other 2 quantitative sections are the mass media, mass advertising, and mass messaging. And again, this just asks you to share the number of posts and the estimated number of people reached through posts on social media, the number of advertisements, and the estimated number of people reached through advertisements, and then the number of sort of mass messages. So that could be text messages or email newsletter blasts. And again, estimate the number of people reached through those methods. And again, we'll have each column here for each of the outreach areas that you will be engaging in. And then finally, for the quantitative section, we have outreach events and staff training. So this is just asking you to report on the number of events that you organized or attended in which you shared information about the programs or rights you're doing outreach on. And then we have another box down here for the number of staff that attended some training that our team has organized. One of the focuses of this grant, one of the objectives, is to build the capacity of service providers and community-based organizations. So it's really important for us to have that metric to show success, both of you as a grantee and as a program as a whole, to know the number of people we've helped train in the field to understand the rights and programs here at the Department of Labor. And then finally, we have the narrative section. So this is, like I mentioned, it has 8 questions here, and it just asks you to go in a little bit more detail about any sort of training or community events that you've attended, a little bit more detail on any mass messaging or communications efforts that you've done, any user testing or community feedback. It just asks you to go into a little bit more detail and share the story behind the numbers a little bit. And again, we'll ask you to just sort of copy and paste these questions into a Word doc or a PDF, and then just upload it down here through the browse feature. And then once everything is done, you can just go to the status option field. It won't populate right now for the same reason it wouldn't for Caroline, because this is a sort of test environment. It's not an actual report. But once you click on status options, there'll be a button here on which you can submit your activity report. And that is the 5-minute demo of activity reports. I know you might have more questions, and especially for new organizations who need to navigate this. So when the time comes to fill out your first quarter report, do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions. Our team is here to sort of be helpful and help you navigate those reports. Okay, give me 1 second, and I'm going to pull up the slideshow again. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned right before, one of the objectives of the CARE grant is to build the capacity of community organizations, service providers, and county and local government agencies to share information on a diverse range of workers, to a diverse range of workers and employers on the programs and rights that the department enforces, and enhance collaboration between the department and these organizations. To help achieve the goal, the CARE Grant program was created, and the CARE Grant team is here to provide support to your organization or collaborative on your outreach efforts throughout the CARE Grant cycle. We really do pride ourselves on being available to support the grantees, both from a programmatic and a fiscal standpoint. We know that administering a state contract, especially for small nonprofit organizations, can be a pretty big lift. So that is why we have a dedicated team here to help you all be successful throughout the CARE Grant year. And there's lots of ways we provide technical assistance throughout the year. Some of these ways include one-on-one phone calls. So for example, if there's a program concerned with a planned outreach activity, maybe your work plan shifted a little bit, you can reach out and we can talk through that and talk through what a modification looks like. We provide live SAGE guidance via Teams or Zoom for any organization that may have difficulty navigating the platform. Caroline, Lance, and I are here to help. Whenever you have problems with SAGE, we can help you better understand the programs and the laws. If you have a policy specific question or a program specific question, you can reach out to myself, Lance, or Rebecca, and we can help you understand that. We're here to help review any outreach materials that you might create. So we'll talk about content review guidelines in a bit, but our team is here to help you really drill down and create and approve those custom materials if you decide to go that way. We're here to help. Our team schedules optional trainings throughout the year on related subjects. So we often do trainings on with the Division on Civil Rights about laws against discrimination, which are very helpful when you're talking to people about their employment. And then we also coordinate print orders. So you may have noticed this for new organizations, you may have noticed through the weekly digest that we can ship you any of our materials for free. So we price orders on a monthly basis. So we're happy to send that out as well. And we'll reiterate this throughout the grant program, but it is critical to it's very critical to stay in contact with our team throughout the grant cycle. We understand things will shift throughout the grant year, and it is critical for us to know about any changes, both from a budgetary or a programmatic standpoint, so that our team can help set you up for success. We have procedures in place to make any changes or adjustments that are needed, but we really need to just stay in communication and keep us updated as things may shift through the grant year. Okay, I think we're gonna do another round of grantee introductions, but first I wanna hand it over to Holly Lowe, the director of our office, to just say a few words. Holly, I know you wanted to share some thoughts.
Hi, just real brief. I just wanted to greet everyone. Obviously, I was with some of you this morning, but to our return grantees, I just wanted to say hello, and we're really excited to work with you again this year. And again, to the new care partners, wanted to welcome you. We're really excited about our third round of the Care Grant program. It's been tremendous watching the program grow. And we're just very lucky to be able to partner with such tremendous community-based organizations around our great state and learn from all of you and learn together how we can ensure access to these important programs and really get the word out. And thank you for all you do. And that is all. Look forward to getting to know all of you.
Great, thank you, Holly. Yeah, I think we're going to head into another round of grantee introductions, just so you don't all have to listen to me talk for 2 hours straight. Again, I will ask, just the next 8 organizations, we're going to do all of the new organizations and collaboratives. So if this is your first year in the program, I'm going to ask you to take, 2 or 3 minutes just to introduce yourself, the role you play at your organization's mission, or your organization or collaborative's mission, and then just a high-level overview of the outreach plans you have for the upcoming year. So with that, the first organization I have on the list is Asian American and Pacific Islanders of New Jersey. So I think Amber's here.
Yeah, thanks, David.
Yeah.
It's great to be here. My name's Amber Reed, she, her pronouns. I'm the co-executive director of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders of New Jersey, or AAPI-NJ works for short. Also joined on the call today by Jeff Chang, our Senior Policy and Advocacy Advisor, Shira Cruz, our Advocacy and Civic Engagement Associate, and Gina Park, our Community Resilience Associate, all of whom will also be supporting this work. We were founded 3 years ago to advocate for the rights, visibility, and welfare of New Jersey's AAPI community, which is growing over 1 million now, and just extraordinarily diverse. It is our first year, so it's going to be a learning year, but we're already so impressed by the care and thought and support that goes into this program. And we'll be doing outreach to AAPIs through our events, our own channels, through a grassroots network of local AAPI organizations that we are helping to sort of nurture, and focusing also on just culturally responsive, culturally sensitive, and in language outreach in 5 or 6 of the major Asian languages. We'll also be trying to layer this into our case management process so that we can provide support to AAPIs who are seeking to better understand their rights and benefits. So very excited to be in partnership with everyone here, and I'll leave it at that.
Great, thank you, Amber, and welcome to the program. The next organization I have on the list is CUMAC. I'm not sure who's here from CUMAC.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry.
Yep, it's Laura.
Hi, Laura. Sorry, just took a minute to register.
Yeah, no, that's okay. My name is Laura Purdy. I am the Chief Operating Officer at CUMAC, and I think I'm the only one on the call. But we are very excited to be first year participants, and we are an anti-hunger organization. That is our main mission. We see approximately 5,000 people every month walking through our doors for food. So we figure that we've got the audience coming to us, makes it super simple to reach out to a lot of, about 80% of the people that do come to us for food are working folks. And probably some of the ones that we're really looking to reach, we're going to be with workers' rights and earned sick leave. And I know that some folks just don't understand that those are the earned sick leave, especially. I think it's something that we can concentrate on. So that's about it. We're in Patterson, by the way.
Thank you, Laura.
Yep.
The next new organization on the list I have is Ironbound Community Corporation. You think Sandana is here, if I'm not mistaken?
Actually, I believe the Director of Programs, Charles Barlow Richardson, is on the line. It'd be more appropriate for him to provide the introduction.
Yeah, that works.
Charles.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Richardson. I'm the Director of Programs here for the Ironbound Community Corporation. It's great to be in partnership with you all. This is our first year for this grant. We are a community-based organization here in the Ironbound section of Newark. We provide a lot of services. This is our 55th year, so we're celebrating our 55th year of service to the community, so we're very proud of that. We started out as an early learning center, early head start, and we grew into services from environmental justice, advocacy, domestic violence, financial literacy, workforce development, family services, and after-school programs, a plethora of programs and opportunities and services for the people of our community. This is a great opportunity for us to educate individuals about their rights, workers' rights time. So we do plan on doing a lot of outreach, a lot of community engagement events, a lot of workshops, just to educate individuals in our community. We do have a primarily Latinx community, Spanish-speaking, Portuguese-speaking immigrant community. So we're very proud and very happy and honored to bring this information to those individuals just so that they can understand what their rights are, so they can feel more inclusive and a part of the community that they should be. So thank you so much, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Charles. Okay, next on the list is Mercy Center Corporation. I think Valerie's here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Valerie Cribbins. I'm the grants manager at Mercy Center, and we are located on the Jersey Shore in Asbury Park. Our offices are in the downtown, and we have been here for over 40 years, and we have really expanded. So the work we originally started doing was the Sisters of Mercy actually opened their car trunk and would feed people. So that launched our food pantry, where at this point we are serving around, on average, 8,000 walk-ins a month. It's kind of amazing and staggering to see the need in the community. And like so many of the other organizations that have just spoke, we also do a handful of other things. Of course, on that, we became a SNAP location. So we provide SNAP enrollment and education. We provide Medicaid, like enrollment assistant. We also offer a free a tax preparation program. And we do domestic and sexual violence counseling, so one-on-one interaction and exchange with members of the community, and we offer them housing and utility assistance. We also have, so that's through our Family Resource Center and the food pantry, and then we also have a middle school that serves on average around 60 young girls from the community. So we are really thrilled to be a first year a grantee with the Department of Labor, and we're really excited because we really think this is just really expands the work we do in the community and help educate our clients and all the people we serve. So thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Valerie. Okay, next I have new labor on the list. I think Anna's here.
Hi, everybody. How's it
And I
going?
know New at Labor is not new. They were in a collaborative before, but there's the first time as a lead organization. And we were really excited to have you join as a lead organization this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really thrilled to be, recognized and doing that work. You can hear me? Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna. I do mostly fundraising work and coalition building for New Labor. So if you're interested in linking up with us, I do a lot of work for folks who might want to support our campaigns, etc. I'll put my number in the chat. But yeah, New Labor is an organization that's been around for about 25 years and uses a popular education model to organize mostly migrant workers, both Latin workers, BIPOC workers generally, to use their worker rights towards genuine change, creating committees in the workplace to leverage not only their knowledge, but their power to make sure that fixes get made to the problems that they're seeing. As we all know, simply having loss is not the same as having an empowered base of workers using them, right? And so that is what New Labor has really championed. We use, like I said, a popular education model where we contextualize people's experiences in the laws that we're trying to enforce. And so as people relate to it, understand how common it is for their rights to be violated, folks feel less alone and they take action. And we're particularly applying this logic and this method of organizing to the enforcement of the Temp Agency Bill of Rights, of which we, along with our colleagues at Make the Road, led in securing in 2023 a basic floor for temp agency workers who are the essential workers across our state, making our whole lives run. Yeah, we also do a lot of extensive work with day laborers and domestic workers all across the state. We have centers in Newark, New Brunswick, and Lakewood. And yeah, just super excited through this grant to continue our training work. We'll be using digital strategies to reach far more workers. We'll also be doing an extensive look back at all of our casework so that we can perfect our training materials and make sure that we're giving a really incisive training and strategy for workers to enforce particularly the Temp Agency Worker Bill of Rights. Yeah, thanks for having me. And again, I'll put my number in the chat if anybody's down to connect. That would be wonderful.
Great, thank you, Anna. And I'll also say that we're going to be sharing out resources in the coming weeks. And we all had you complete a form during the intake process about sharing contact information. So I was going to share this later in the presentation, but I'll share it now. We're creating a handbook guide for the CARE grant program, which will centralize a lot of this information that we're sharing today and that we share through quarterly meetings. And in that handbook will be a contact list for everybody in the program as well. So, but yeah, also feel free to share your contact information in the chat, not trying to dissuade you from doing that either. Okay, next on the list I have here is Norwest Cap. I'm not sure who's here from Norwest Cap. I apologize.
Hi, I'm
Mark
here. I'm Kelsey.
Kelsey, okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Greenstra. I am the Senior Director of Financial Empowerment and Workforce Development with NORSCAP. We offer services across Northwestern New Jersey with a really solid footprint in Warren, Somerset, Hunterdon, Morris, and Sussex counties. We also do some additional work in Essex, Union, and Passaic counties. Our programs are really designed to strengthen communities through creating opportunity for low-income individuals and their families. Our programming kind of goes across the board a little bit. We do some education, employment and career assistance, financial support, health and nutrition programming, housing support, community development. So through these services, we have a really wide reach to a range of clients across Northwestern New Jersey. We work with over 30,000 individuals each year. I'm actually brand new to the role. It's about my 4th week in the space. And we are a new grantee as well. So I'm just really excited to be here, looking forward to hearing from folks on the call on how to best, move the work forward. We are anticipating on integrating the resources and information to our existing programming, and then also think creatively about how do we expand the dissemination of this information. So happy to be here. Thank you all. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Kelsey. And I know I think we have a meeting tomorrow to discuss things. So I'm looking forward to getting to talk one-on-one with you tomorrow. Okay, and then I think the next organization, we have 3 more to get through, is RISE. I think I saw Chris here, but I'm not sure if Leslie's here. Okay.
No, Chris is here.
Gotcha.
Leslie's actually away, so I'm handling the development director at RISE. We're based in the East Windsor Hightstown area, portion of Mercer County. We also do provide services to surrounding areas. So that would be Southern Middlesex, a little bit of Monmouth, the very tip of Monmouth County as well. We're a small social services agency that provides direct services like summer camp, food pantry, adult education, youth programming, English language learners. We have case managers that are all bilingual. And as part of the intake process, we're able to handle things like LIHEAP and some of the other things like SNAP that were mentioned previously by some of the other agencies. We're very excited to be the first time grantee this year. And we have a lot of recent immigrants in our area, and we have a lot of warehouse workers. So we really believe that a lot of this information would be very useful to them. And we look forward to working with the other agencies that are online. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. The next organization I have is South Ward Alliance. It's Jasmine here.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Rivera. I'm with the Southward Promise neighborhood, also the Southward Children's Alliance. We're a pre-cradle to and through career initiative located in the South Ward of Newark, New Jersey. Basically, our mission is to provide a coordinated pipeline of services along that pre-cradle to and through career initiative. So lots of different stuff around the perinatal space, school-age children, and then college and career, and supporting adults and families throughout that entire process. We are a first-year grantee, and we're in partnership with some of the folks that are on the call today, which is exciting. So the way that we'll basically be working on this project this year is to, through our care management programs, a lot of the work that we do with our pregnant people, our people reentering the workforce, our college and career folks in the workforce development, is to talk to them about the 5 different DOL programs anyway. So this is formalizing that process. Also, because we have these 30 different partners, we'll be convening those partners who also, again, work across this broad age band of folks to be able to disseminate that information to their people as well. So we're excited to be here and to formalize what we feel like we've been trying to do already.
Wonderful. Okay, and then the last organization that's going to do an introduction is New Jersey Citizen Action. I think Yarrow is here.
Hi, thanks, David. Yeah, thanks for giving me the time. So exciting to meet everyone. My name's Yarl. I'm with New Jersey Citizen Action. We are a statewide coalition and grassroots organization that fights for social, racial, and economic justice for all. We have an organizing and service model. We do provide free services to low and moderate income folks from a range of tax prep and first-time home buying, financial counseling, among others. But we also have a collaborative grant, and I would be remiss in mentioning the folks that we're working with. It's so good to see you. Also, New Labor, hi, Anna. That we worked with last year. We're working with SPAN, the statewide parent advocacy network, and Laundry Workers Center, the Rutgers Center for Women in Work, and the Wind of the Spirit. These are organizations that do touch a lot of low income immigrant workers and have an organizing based building model as well. We actually came together really around the Time to Care Coalition table and the work that we have done in our vision that, you know, we are still doing in our outreach and education, that all workers can access paid leave, temporary disability, family leave, earned sick days specifically. And then, of course, the interconnection with other worker rights and how those protections support workers. If folks are interested in that, just like Anna mentioned, we would love to have connection with you in terms of how we can continue to make sure that our programs meet folks where they're at and support them in the policy. But in our outreach and education, we are focused on a range of different ways of reaching folks, but really a lot of what we also do is train the trainer models and looking at how to get information to those folks that kind of like you all provide really important key services to the community, and this information is going to be a really key for them in helping to support the clients in their economic and health well-being. And so we do a lot of education, bringing some of the research and evidence that makes the case of why getting this information to folks is so critical. So thank you.
Great, thank you. And then I think we'll have 7 more organizations to go in a bit, but I want to cover some more of the grants management content before we do that. So just give me 1 second to share my slides. And I should say, if any questions come up during like the information I'm sharing, just feel free to use the chat function. I'm probably not going to be able to see it just because I'll be sharing my screen, but we'll make sure to get to the questions before we wrap up today. So share that. Give me 1 second. Share my screen. All right, can we see the slides? Just want to make sure before I start.
Yes, David.
Great, thank you, Lance. So I just wanted to cover some of the outreach materials that we have here at the Department of Labor. For new grantees, as I mentioned, we offer any of our printed materials for free. Our print shop will print them and mail them to you. You just have to put in that print request we print request to our team here. We place orders with our print shop once a month, and we ask that you just get that into our team by, I think it's the first Friday of each month. Is that correct, Lance?
Yeah, or the end of like the first week, but yeah, usually the first Friday of each month would be ideal.
By the first Friday of each month is when we ask you to send it so that we can place bulk orders and bulk shipments of printed materials to folks. But we have many different types of handouts for a variety of audiences and in more than a dozen languages. So thank you to our returning grantees who have helped ensure that the translations are understandable to community members. Reviewing translations of outreach materials that the department procures is a billable activity under the CARE grant. And we really value your both input of your staff who have multi-language capabilities, but also any of your community members you can recruit to sort of review any of the translations we receive. Yeah, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, the CARE grant team sent the welcome email that has the print order form in it. We send it out regularly. You just have to fill out that form. It's an Excel document with the number of documents you want, and it has all of our materials available, as well as links that you can click on and open up all of the handouts. And you can just send that over to Lance, and he will place that order. His email is lance.tracy@dol.nj.org. I'll also note that there is a 100-copy minimum for printing of documents for requests, so just keep that in mind as well when you're placing your orders. So yeah, I'm just going to do some quick review of some of the materials we have for each of the 5 areas of outreach you all will be doing conducting activities on. So the first one here, we have the paid family and medical leave, or also known as the temporary disability and family leave insurance programs. So we have handouts on cash benefits about how to care for yourself and loved ones that are a half page. That's the image that's on the screen on the right. We also have another one that's about cash benefits for health conditions and pregnancy and childbirth recovery. Another one on cash benefits to care for your family member. We have a handout that's about benefits and protections for new and expecting parents. We have handouts that are oriented towards disability during unemployment, family leave during unemployment. We have handouts that are guidance for medical providers. And we have one that's oriented for employers and human resource professionals about what they need to know about the temporary disability and family leave insurance programs. As we mentioned this morning, we will also be sharing a version of the training that you received, those slides, for you all to utilize in your trainings and outreach activities over the course of the grant cycle. And then we also have custom social media graphics that our comms team have created here at the Department of Labor. And I'll just ask one of my colleagues if they can drop the CARE Grant webpage into the chat. The CARE Grant webpage has all of the outreach resources as well, so you can start to sort of go through those and find out which materials will be useful for your activities over the course of the grant cycle. The next program is the New Jersey Earned Sick Leave Law, and some of the materials we have. And again, this isn't everything we have. It's just some of the I feel like the most utilized handouts that grantees have used in the past. And we have them, like I said, in variety of languages. Some of them we have in more languages than others. So like the Earned Sick Leave, the basics half sheet handout is in, I think, almost 10 or 12 languages. You know, some of them are only in English and Spanish. It really varies. If you need these handouts, if you're going to be working with a population that has a high language access need, and we do not have the resources that you need to do the outreach, please talk to our team and we can work on procuring those resources. Language access has been a big priority for this office and this program, but it takes a while to get those handouts and that information procured and then checked and verified for accuracy. So we need to start that process sooner rather than later. So if you're working with populations, again, with high language access need, and that's in your work plan for this year, and you know you're going to need handouts in a certain language, again, just reach out to our team sooner rather than later so we can start working collaboratively on the process of getting that translated for you. So yeah, on the Earned Sick Leave Law, we have a full sheet handout. We have a half sheet handout with the basics. We have outreach materials that are geared towards employers. We have handouts that are geared towards parents. We have a checklist for employers. And again, we have slides and social media graphics around the Earned Sick Leave Law that we will share for you to use as well. The next program is the unemployment insurance. So handouts we have around unemployment insurance is the cash benefits during your job search, which is a half sheet handout. You'll see a version of that handout over there on the right as the image. We have handouts about information on one-stop services for people with unemployment, people who are unemployed, and how to schedule an appointment. We have a half sheet, full sheet on the ID Me verification process with a question and answer section. And then we have, like I said, the services that are available to job seekers through the One Stop. And that's a full sheeter. And again, we'll have PowerPoints that we will share out. I believe they're already on the CARE Grant website that you can use. And then there are, again, social media graphics. And I may have mentioned this earlier, but we will be doing an unemployment insurance training as well as a work rights and earned sick leave training next month. I will share more about those details later in this presentation, though. And then finally, the last area of outreach is work rights, and we have a number of handouts around work rights. We have Working in COVID, 5 Things You Need to Know in New Jersey. We have the Know Your Work Rights mini brochure. This is like I think it's a 4-fold square handout that's really nifty and fits in your pocket. So it's a really good brochure, and I know a number of grantees have utilized it before. We have a filing a wage and hour complaint brochure. We have a filing wage and hour complaint full sheeter. We have a New Jersey Employer's Guide to Wage and Hour Laws and a Know Your Work Rights information sheet for temporary workers. And we don't have the slides ready just yet for work rights. As I mentioned several times, the program was just expanded to include work rights for this year. So our team is finalizing a slide deck for you all to utilize and for us to use to train you in the work rights topics that you'll be doing outreach on. But again, that training will happen sometime in mid to late August. And there will be also social media graphics as well to share. Okay, so content review guidelines. There are some important guidelines grantees must follow when creating and utilizing outreach materials. I'll review the full details right now, but generally speaking, whenever you are creating new materials with new content, you must receive approval from the Care Grant team and the Department of Labor before you can share those materials publicly. A handout was shared earlier in the welcome email that we sent in June with this information. We'll send it again after this meeting so that you have it readily available. But it's probably helpful if you have communications staff that are going to be working on this program to share those content review guidelines directly with that staff, with those staff members. A new addition to the Care Grant this year is a program-specific logo. We hope that you can utilize the logo to help validate the work you're doing in the field. It's important to note that approval is required anytime an organization or collaborative wants to use the Care Grant logo. So please just reach out to the Care Grant team with the materials you wish to place the logo on, and we'll ensure that the programs and rights being described on that material are accurate so that you can place that logo on there. Additionally, there are different types of outreach materials requiring DOL approval before sharing publicly with the content that does require approval includes any wide-scale advertising efforts, so any newspaper ads, radio ads, boosted posts on social media, regardless of the content, that needs to sort of come to the Care Grant team for review before you go out there publicly with it. Any original public-facing materials, so PowerPoints, posters, flyers, brochure, that go into detail on sort of the eligibility or benefits protections, including earnings, covered employment, exemptions, etc. Any custom-made, any original public-facing materials that go into the covered uses of the law and programs, any materials that go into the TDI, FLI, and UI benefit levels and how they are calculated, any materials that talk about employer documentation or notice requirements for earned sick leave or work rights. So anytime you're talking about the programs, the benefit programs or the work rights, and you are doing it in new language that's not on the DOL website, that has to come to our team for review and approval first. Content that does not require approval from our team, that includes any pre-existing, like I said, any pre-existing New Jersey Department of Labor published outreach materials or original materials you create using that exact pre-existing language. So if you want to take an outreach material that we have, or you want to take a slide deck that we provide you and change it to your branding, that is perfectly fine. You can do that. We don't need to review that. But yeah, so if you're a new grantee and you're just new to this program, we often encourage you to either use our existing materials or use our existing language, just so that you're ensuring accuracy in what you're sharing with members of the public. Additionally, general statements about the programs and rights that do not describe any sort of like eligibility or covered use don't need to sort of come to our department. So this, for example, this is statements like unemployment insurance is for when times are tough, or earned sick leave is the law in New Jersey, or New Jersey paid family and medical leave for healthier moms and babies. Like if you're making those generic statements that don't go into the details of the program, that are supposed to be like a hook to pull people in to help explain in greater detail about the programs, we don't need to verify that language. It's only when you go into sort of details about the programs and rights and you're talking about it through your own language that's not pre-existing on the Department of Labor's website. Okay. All right, we are now going to do the final wave of grantee introductions. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. The first organization I have here is CATA. I think, who's here from CATA? Is Marge here?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marge Nita, and I'm the administrator at CATA. And we're a migrant farm worker organization in Southern New Jersey, been around for about 45 years. And we empower farm workers and immigrant workers to fight for their rights, particularly around social, economic, environmental, food justice, workers' rights. And we're very happy to be back as a grantee with the Department of Labor. Our program, we do this in collaboration with 3 other organizations, Allies in Caring in Atlantic County, the Revive South Jersey and Cumberland County, and PRAC in Salem County. And our outreach efforts usually, we have like a multi-level approach to the program, where we go out to the farm labor camps and talk to workers and in the communities as well, doing one-on-one conversations, passing out information, and then inviting folks to come to either a workshop that we would provide on more in-depth labor right conversations. We also table at community events and different festivals to try to reach an even broader audience than what would be in our normal scope. Then we also hold office hours where people who need technical assistance in, either unemployment applications or accessing paid leave, those type of activities. So we do those office hours with our partners as well. So we really cover the whole South Jersey area. Then we also have a workers' rights ambassador training, which is like a train the trainer, where we train folks to be, specialists or not specialists, but work and have a working knowledge of all these paid leave and different rights. And then they can bring it out to their community and their workplaces. And then we also have a radio station, a low frequency community radio station that we can amplify some of the messaging. And we use social media, of course, like everybody else. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the overview of our program. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Marge. Next organization for introductions is Centro Comunitario SES. Is it Hugh or Marianella here?
Yeah, it's Hugh here.
Hi, Hugh.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Hugh Morley. I'm Supervisor Administrator for Centro Comunitario SES in Hudson County. This is our 2nd year, and we're very happy to be involved in the program. We think it has a really great impact and gives people really important information in the community we serve, which is mainly Hispanic immigrants. SES has been around for 30 years, mainly organizing immigrants to seek legal status in different ways. We also provide affordable legal immigration services through a legal team. And we now have a community health department with community health workers, and the program around this project, which we have called Conoce tus derechos laborales, which is Know Your Rights, workplace rights. And our project has a number of prongs. One is we have a list of all the people who've become legal residents over the years through our legal team. So we call them up and explain the different laws that we're promoting. Anyone who comes in our office gets the same information. And we also work with our community health workers to do a lot of outreach. We go out to food pantries, we go to COVID-19 vaccination efforts, we do tables on the street and so forth. And this year, we're especially excited about the additional workplace laws, the minimum wage, the overtime, the wage thefts. The bulk of it, or probably 50% of the people we address are undocumented, and these laws, along with the earned sick leave, are obviously more relevant to them because they do not need to have a social security number or legal status to reap the benefits. So that's it. I was here with Marinella Agramont. I don't know if she's on here. I can't see her. She had a family emergency and could not stay on, but she really wanted to be here, and she's the one who does most of the work in the outreach. So she'll be on the next one probably.
Great, thank you, Hugh. And next organization for introductions is Immigrant and American Citizenship Organization. I think, is Angie here? Yes.
Hi everyone. My name is Angie Garzon. I'm with YACO, Immigration and American Citizenship Organization, and we're happy to be back for another year with a grant. We're a nonprofit organization that is based in Patterson, New Jersey, and we're serving mostly the North Jersey area. And we dedicate to guide and assist immigrants in their adjustment of stabilization, integration into the American society. Our areas of service are focusing represent and immigration procedures. We conduct seminars, we do conferences to raise awareness, and also to empower immigrants with essential knowledge in different topics, being the programs covered with the Care Grant, one of those topics. And regarding our activities with the grant, we're gonna use social media, and we're gonna use website articles in English and Spanish to educate the community. We are gonna host workshops and training sessions just to train service providers and to share the information with the workers about the different programs. And we're gonna also do in-person outreach, distributing informational kits and providing application assistance.
Great, thank you, Angie. The next organization for intros is Jefferson Park Ministries. Is Woody here? I see Woody on the call, but maybe we'll move on to the next organization real quick.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's go to Lakewood Resource and Referral Center. I think Sarah's on the call.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. I'm Sarah Sternbeck. I'm the Director of Social Services for the Lakewood Resource and Referral Center, which is a division of ChemMed Health Center, which is F2HC, the largest one actually in New Jersey. We provide social service assistance, application assistance, information about all the different programs that are available. We're so excited about the CARE grant. It's our third year getting it, but each time we're like, yay, this is such a great fit for us. And the team is so wonderful. I'm so excited for all the new grantees to get the same support that we've gotten to learn about these amazing programs. We do a lot of outreach. We go to events and to promote the cash benefit for worker programs and the worker rights programs. The majority of the work that we do is with technical one-on-one assistance. So we have case managers here in our office in Lakewood that sit down and help people fill out the applications, give over information, answer questions about eligibility, whatever it is that people need, whatever support they need to access these programs. That's what we do most of the day. And again, we're so excited to be here, and it's so nice to meet all the new grantees. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Sarah. Next organization for introductions is Latin American Legal Defense and Education Fund, LALDEF. I'm not sure who's here from LALDEF.
I'm here.
Miranda. Hi, Miranda.
Hi, I'm Miranda Christ. I'm here representing the Latin American Legal Defense and Education Fund, or LALDEF for short. We're a nonprofit that's based in Trenton, New Jersey. We provide immigration legal services and a variety of educational programs to low-income immigrants in the Trenton area. And we're really thrilled to be back here for a third year, I believe, with the CARE grant. So thanks for having us. A few of the highlights of activities we have planned for this year are a variety of workshops for our clients, the community we serve. We're going to be doing a job fair this year, which we're excited about. Working to sort of leverage our relationships with existing clients who come to us for a variety of especially educational services already. We're going to be doing a lot of like work rights related workshops with those clients. And we do a lot of flyering and attending community events as well. And we're excited to expand. I mean, in past years, we've been focusing on earned sick leave. And so this year we're expanding to several other areas with the CARE grant. So thanks for having us.
Of course. And then I think the last organization on the list is Viet Lead. I think Emily's here.
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Emily Tran. I'm a senior project manager with Viet Lead. We are working to build power with the Viet and Southeast Asian community in Philadelphia and South Jersey. This is our third year receiving funding from the New Jersey Department of Labor and third year of partnership. So we're really excited to be back. Some things that we have been doing for the last few years is a lot of outreach. And we work mostly with nail salon workers, restaurant workers, and factory workers in South Jersey, living in Camden County and surrounding counties. And this year we're hoping to do more outreach, more education, and try to see if we can come up with a strategy for earned sick leave. This is something we've been working on for a really long time. We've had a lot of success in connecting our community with paid family medical leave, which has been really awesome. A lot of folks have told us that it's their first time ever hearing about a program like this. And so it's been really amazing to be able to connect our community members with that program. But we're really trying to work on earned sick leave. So that's our project for the year, and hopefully figure out a base building strategy for nail salon workers around that. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Emily. And I have a couple more slides to cover, and then I think we're going to go into our breakout sessions. So let me just pull up my slides again. All right, can everybody see my slide?
Yes.
Thank you, Lance. Okay, so I just wanted to talk through two other allowable activities on the CARE grant. I think everybody's aware that these are opportunities that will crop up throughout the grant cycle, but I just wanted to pull them out and draw everybody's attention to them. So the first one is user testing. So as a part of the department's ongoing efforts to modernize our unemployment insurance and our temporary disability and family leave insurance applications, the CARE grant team often shares opportunities to engage in user testing of new tools and applications, or updates to like applications that are ongoing. We really do value input from our CARE grant partners and community members they serve on the tools that are being created to help folks navigate application processes and to ensure that the applications that we're working to modernize are human-centered. So the New Jersey Department of Labor and the vendors that we are working with run user testing sessions or put out requests to CARE grantees to participate in user testing sessions fairly often throughout the grant cycle. Most of them will be virtual and primarily in English and some in Spanish. And your organization can help us with recruiting participants, helping cover any sort of compensation for participants to engage in the process, can occasionally help with translating and doing interpretation, can help possibly with hosting and any tech support, particularly if there are community members who are struggle with accessing tech. And then just providing feedback on the findings that we document from these sessions. So oftentimes what will happen is we'll document any feedback we get, and then we'll return it to grantees to make sure that that feedback is based on a mutual understanding of how sessions went. And the CARE grant, like I said, the CARE grant team will share these opportunities as they come up throughout the grant year, and any work your organization does to participate in or recruit users for these sessions is billable to the CARE grant contract. So just keep that in mind as they come up throughout the grant year. We'll send those out as they come up. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, the other activity I want to talk about is listening sessions. So listening sessions are in a number of work plans already this year, which is great to see. As I mentioned earlier today, one of the goals of the CARE grant program is to create feedback loops with community members and community-based organizations. So we want to learn about current and former claimants' experience applying for and receiving benefits and accessing their work rights. And your organization can be supportive in helping organize listening sessions, again, around recruitment, compensation of participants' time, translation and interpretation services, any like tech barriers there might be, and again, just providing a sort of shared understanding of what we're hearing and how we document those findings. And again, all of these activities are billable to the care contract. And we've discussed with a few groups about the listening sessions as we're having our one-on-one meetings for the upcoming grant cycle. If your organization is interested in hosting a listening session and you haven't talked to us about it already, please reach out to our team ASAP. Given the expansion of the program this year and the number of grantees, we need to get these sessions on the calendar sooner rather than later, just so that we're planning appropriately and understanding the capacity of our team to participate in a listening session. You are all welcome to organize your own listening sessions and share those findings to us. But if you want DOL's participation in that session, we need to know sooner rather than later so we can calendar out those sessions throughout the grant cycle year. Okay, so with that, I think we're going to go into a breakout session. Actually, let me pull back up my slides. I have some. So, during the breakout sessions, we're going to have some more unstructured time than maybe we've had in other breakout session spaces during previous grant cycles. We've heard from grantees in the past through survey feedback that you value having sort of more unstructured time with each other and just sort of free time with other grantees to hear about their experience in the program, their work plans, share tips and tricks. So what we're trying to do in this breakout session is we're going to pair up returning organizations with new organizations so that you have some little bit more unstructured time to talk to one another about your experiences in the program and your work plans. I have some questions here and prompts here on the slides. Just to guide your conversation, you can take it or you can leave it. The space is really yours to use for the next 20 minutes. We intentionally paired up groups in a certain way. So we tried to come up with areas that made sense for groups to be paired together. So for example, we paired groups that are really doing outreach around that has like a language access need focus, and we're pairing some of those groups together. Another example is, there's like a bunch of groups in the Monmouth County area, and we put them together. And there's a couple of groups in the Newark City area, and we put them together. So you've been placed in groups somewhat intentionally. And yeah, the prompts here are just an opportunity to introduce yourselves and your outreach plans. It could be an opportunity to share successes and challenges with outreach work in general. Many of you have been engaging in outreach work for years, even if you're a new organization, maybe not on these topics. So just share any successes and challenges that you've noted throughout your work on doing outreach in general. It could be an opportunity to discuss potential areas of collaboration or shared resources. Again, we paired you together intentionally, so there's some area of overlap or similarity between your organizations. So it could be an opportunity to discuss ways to collaborate or share resources. It could be you could discuss any key takeaways from the training this morning or this post-award session. Or it could just be an opportunity for new grantees to ask questions and for returning grantees to offer advice. So with that, I'm going to ask Lance to... Right. I think this is mostly everybody. We had about 41, 42 people before. So I hope you all found the time useful and enjoyed getting to know each other in small groups and talking about your work plans. As I said, I would just like to hear maybe a few themes or topics that you discussed. Doesn't have to be anything too in-depth. Would just be curious to hear what some of your conversations, what were the topics. And were you able to see group numbers when we put you in the groups, or no? Did it highlight a number? Okay. So maybe we'll just go in order of the room numbers. So I think room 1, do people know who was in room 1?
Right here.
Okay, I see a hand.
Jasmine Rivera, Charles Barlow, and Nastasia were in that group.
Yeah.
I can share for us. We had a mix of two groups that were new and two groups that were returning, with Yarrow being the more experienced member amongst us. But we just shared kind of some of what our wins and challenges were with the implementation of the grant, being able to structure the collection of data, where some of our families have expressed having some challenges, and some of the work that's being done to help support it. And then Yarrow and I were also able to share some of our learnings from our meeting in DC, and what other states are doing in this space, and how we might be able to future-wise be helpful in bringing that out. But just a lot of questions with understanding how the payment system works, and how long families can expect to wait before they receive funding coming in, and what's the messaging that we should be providing to them as they're working to navigate that system.
Wonderful.
I don't know if either of you would like to add, Charles or Jasmine, to what I shared.
I think you got it all, Nastasia. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just furiously taking notes too. Okay, group 2. I think this was, I'm just looking at the list real quick. Amber, Emily, Jeff, Tracy, and Woody.
Yes. Hi, this is Woody from Jefferson Park Ministries, Inc. I guess we have 2 returning grantee, Viet Lead and I, in my Jefferson Park Ministries, and I believe AAPI, if one of the new grantee. So I guess mainly we discuss about strategy and share our success on outreach. And we'll talk about the language access, language barriers, advocacy there. We were able to, I guess, share, I guess, printers, what works for us. And apparently between Vietnamese and I, so we kind of use similar techniques because we're working with a lot of immigrant low-income families. And so we find it very interesting. And at the same time, we see a different way that we can continue connecting, especially when it comes for texting, using WhatsApp, and what way we can find different ways to connect more with individuals. So I don't know if the rest of the team want to add anything else.
Great. Yeah, and I think the 3 groups I paired, I knew you all have sort of like high language access needs for the communities you serve. So that was sort of like the thinking between pairing you all, and it's good to hear that sort of talked about those challenges with working with those community members. Okay, next group I have is group 3. I think this was Ali, Sarah, Susan, and Valerie.
Yeah, we had a nice conversation between the 2. There was 2 of us that were returning grantees and 2 new ones. And one of the returning grantees had a new person that was responsible for the grant. So it was a nice conversation about reporting, how to capture results when doing outreach, how do we quantify the successes of our efforts. More of a technical focus, but it was a really nice conversation, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. Okay, group 4 was Amy, Anna, Hugh, and Marge.
All right, well, if no one else wants to go, I'll start. We had, it seemed like we were all returnees. We had Amy from the employers, Anna from New Labour, that although they were new, they have been in groups before, conglomerates underneath a different an umbrella. And Marge, I think, was returning also. And a lot of our discussion focused on employers, because that's something that we hadn't really entered in the past. And so Amy talked about how they work with employers, and then Anna from New Labour also talked about, I was interested to know how they sort of went over the other side, because I obviously New Labour focus a lot on workers too, but they have interactions with employers to try and educate the employer too. So for me, it was a really interesting conversation about, you know, how to go about broadening, not simply informing workers, but maybe if you get workers who have a problematic employer, how to approach the employer, which could involve both New Labour assisting us and also Amy helping educate employers. So that was very interesting. Any other of my colleagues want to make a comment on that?
See some thumbs up. That's great. Okay, group 5. I have in the group Andrea, Evelyn, Kelsey, and then 2 people whose names I can't make out because it's initials.
Hi, I'm sorry. It was group 5. I was chosen to speak. The other people were Tiffany Johnson and Janetta Jack.
Great, thank you.
So although we have 5 people, in reality there was only 3 orgs there because Janetta and Tiffany work at Hopes.
Gotcha.
And Janetta, you know, she's only fiscal, so she had that, she didn't understand most of it and she's new. So anyway, we spoke about the fact that our 2 ladies from Northwest Cap and Make the Road, New Jersey are brand new to it, and how their new perspective could bring in so many different ideas for this program. You know, sometimes we don't think of it because we've been doing this work over and over again and we don't think about new ideas. So I explained that their new you know, ideas would probably be beneficial for the program. We also spoke about who to partner with. And one of the people, you know, one of the things we said, always reach out to your community partners, of course, and your paid, your elected officials, very important. We also spoke about how to incorporate this you know, this grant into other programs and services. And we spoke about a little bit about tips on Sage, because, you know, Sage is so wonderful, and the reporting process, and how Caroline and Lance are really just, and I say this because we have a billion grants from different funders, and I really truly believe that these 2 people, these 2 individuals in your group, David, are really helpful when it comes to answering any questions that we don't understand Sage. But if we haven't fixed that manual, can we think about it? Because it's a Word document, you can't find information easily, and it's really, really hard to navigate. But that was what we spoke of.
Great, thank you. It's helpful feedback. Okay, group 6. I have Andrea, Angie, Laura, Martin.
I can summarize what we talk. So it was 1 returning grantee, which was us, Jaco, and then 3 new grantees. We cover about our learning experience, the things that were best for us in the past years, especially when it comes to in-person activities and when it comes to the material that we create on social media. I was also telling the other grantees that you guys are great with communication. And then we also cover about the importance that build a trust in the community in the first year. So they know that us in these organizations have information that is true and reliable.
Awesome. And then the final group is group 7.
I think that must be my group.
Yes, you are one of the people. Sorry, I didn't read off the names.
That's all right. So I'm Miranda. My group was a mix of returning and new grantees as well. We figured out quickly that we all serve primarily Spanish-speaking clients. So it was lovely to connect and hopefully stay in touch and share resources throughout the year. One thing that that came up that hasn't been said yet is we were talking about how we've all sort of had good experiences with using community events to share resources on these topics. I mean, and we talked about the importance of framing our events as don't say it's a resource fair, say it's, for example, you know, Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, free food, and then we share information. So it's, we're talking about that as a strategy.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for doing that and reporting out. I think we're going to try, you know, we've heard through the course of the grant cycle last year that this time is really important and valuable, and making these connections with one another and seeing the connections between each other's work and learning the, you know, challenges and successes each of you have had is like a valuable way to spend time. So we're going to try to carve out more of this, like, less structured breakout time into the grant program this year so that you all can have an opportunity to better know each other and each other's work, and maybe even find ways to sort of work together on your outreach efforts as well. And if you know of something, or if you know from listening today that you want to connect with somebody that you didn't get to connect with, or if you want to learn something about an organization or learn about an outreach tactic that an organization is utilizing more, and you want somebody on the Care Grant team to make that connection, we're happy to do that. We've done that before for organizations. Again, just like reach out to somebody on our team and we can help facilitate that conversation and that connection for you. All right, we are headed into the final stretch of our post-award session now. I just have a few more slides to cover and then we'll do Q&A. So just give me 1 second. I'll pull up the slides again. Oops. Great. All right, can you see my slides?
Yes.
Great. So the couple final topics to cover. One is claimant support. This is just the disclaimer that was in the NGO as well about what funds for the Care Grant, how they can't be utilized. So the Care Grant funds can cover organizational support to help constituents and community members understand and apply for benefits and accessing rights. Funds can also be utilized to help constituents complete other processes such as a certification and an appeal, as well as inform workers of their rights and show them how to file a complaint and help them file a complaint. However, organizations cannot utilize funds to file a complaint with the Department of Labor on behalf of a worker or an employer. It cannot be used to represent a worker or an employer in a wage collection proceedings, or represent workers or employers in any DOL enforcement activities. Additionally, funds cannot be used to represent workers or employers in appeals hearings or other legal proceedings related to temporary disability insurance, family leave insurance, or unemployment insurance with the New Jersey Department of Labor. I realize it may get a little nuanced for folks, so if you have concerns as you're helping community members navigate claims, if that's something you're doing in your work plan this year, please, as if I said several times throughout the day, please just feel free to reach out to our team and we can sort of provide you guidance on how to proceed. Okay, and then you know, as you are all being onboarded to the 3rd year of the Care Grant, we have some helpful training scheduled in the coming months. Our team will follow up in the coming weeks with calendar holds and more details about each. But the next important date to remember is going to be our unemployment insurance training, which will be on August 13th. Again, the time and agenda will be shared soon, as well as the calendar holds. The training is required for organizations that are receiving UI funding. If you are an organization that's returning and continuing to receive UI funding, and you've attended the UI training before in previous years, it is not required for you to attend. It's only required for new organizations receiving UI funds. So if you're receiving UI funds for the first time, or you've never gone through a UI training before, you are required to attend the unemployment insurance training. But I would strongly encourage it. As you've seen this morning, there are a lot of details that go into these benefits programs, and a refresher training would probably be very beneficial to everybody, including myself. We will also be holding the work rights and earned sick leave training on August 27th. That is required for everybody receiving work rights funding this year. Since it's a new area, every organization that's receiving work rights has to attend that training. And again, that'll be on August 27th. Then the time, the agenda, and calendar holds will be shared soon. If you have any conflicts and you cannot make one of these trainings and you are required to, please reach out to our team and we can work together to find a solution. There are required quarterly meetings for the CARE grant. As I mentioned earlier, our first quarterly meeting will be held on September 19th. And our team will be holding a repeat of this morning's paid family and medical leave training in Spanish in the fall. So just keep that in mind. The date is to be determined at the moment, but we'll send out notices of that soon. We are going to offer Spanish language trainings for all of the covered areas of the grant program at different times. And that could be helpful if you have frontline outreach staff or community members or an ambassador program where there's a need to have a Spanish translation of this training. So feel free to invite any members of your staff to any of these trainings. That could be helpful. And then finally, throughout the CARE grant cycle, we organize optional trainings on DOL programs and related rights. These trainings are optional, but are designed to complement the outreach and education work that you're doing. So previous trainings have included trainings by our colleagues at the Division of Civil Rights and the Law Against Discrimination, the Family Leave Act, and the Fair Chance Housing Act. It's included, presentations from our strategic enforcement initiatives here at the Department of Labor, and presentations on immigration relief work that happens here at the Department of Labor as well. And again, our team will be sure to send out all this information and calendar holds as they come up throughout the CARE grant cycle. And as I mentioned earlier, we are working hard on putting together a handbook for grantees this year. It'll be a new feature for the program. It's just going to centralize all the information that we share out through this meeting, through the welcome email, through the quarterly meetings into one place. We hope to have that handbook out in the coming weeks, and we will circulate that out through the weekly digest. So just keep an eye out for that as well. All right. With that, that is all we have on the agenda for today's post-award session. I know our team is very excited to get to work this year on outreach and education on these worker benefits and protections. If you have any questions at all, you're feel free to reach out to our team. We're going to hang around here for a little bit and do some Q&A. If there are any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or just come off mute and we can sort of address them. I think if you've had a one-on-one meeting with myself, Lance, and Caroline in the last month, we ask a 2-week turnaround on returning your revised work plans and budgets. So just keep that in mind. If you have met with us, you have an upcoming due date on submitting your revised work plans and budgets. And if you have any questions about that process, again, just please reach out to us. Your budget has to be modified directly in Sage, and you have to upload your work plan into the deliverables section of Sage as well. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen and I can answer any questions. I said, what's the due date again? Andrea, if it's we're asking a 2-week turnaround from the date we met with you, so I'm not sure the exact date we met with you. But by the end of July, we are hoping to push all of the contracts forward. So just keep that in mind. If you have a later date, that's fine, but we're hoping to push a set of contracts forward by the end of July. So keep that in mind. Any other questions?
David, do you want to let Woody introduce Jefferson Park Ministries real quick?
Oh yeah, sorry, Woody. Yes,
we missed you.
We missed you before. Do you want to introduce yourself and your organization?
Sure. Hi, my name is Woody Philippe. I'm the Executive Director of Jefferson Park Ministries, Inc. I'm one of the returning grantees. Jefferson Park Ministries is located in Elizabeth. We serve immigrant low-income families. We have a host of different programs we provided to the residents or the community. We have after-school program, insurance navigations to help to apply for whether get cover NJ or NJ Family Care. We do have Santé pour Toutes or Health for All. We focus on outreach and educating individuals to live a better life and want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. We do have a diaper distribution, a feminine essential. We have consultation for immigration services, program for seniors where they can be volunteers at the school, at the site to provide support to children so they can improve their academic performance. And we do case management and support coordination services, help people to apply for food stamp and RCA, which is cash assistant. And we do a lot of linkage and as well refer to other agencies within the community that we serve. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Woody. Okay. Well, if there are any other questions, you can just come off mute and ask, or you can drop them in the chat. And if you don't have any questions, we're wrapping up today's session. Thank you all for making the time today. We know it's
from Hopes. Janetta Jack from Hopes. Since we haven't submitted any reports yet, could we combine them or do we still have to do them individually?
You mean the monthly expense reports?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you have to do them individually still.
Oh, wasn't what I was hoping to hear, but thank you anyway.
Unfortunately, that's how the system is set up. We've got to go 1 month at a time. So
okay. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and if like I said, we're got through the full agenda for today. Thank you for making time. We know it's been a long day between, especially you were at the morning training, so I'm happy to give you some time back on your calendars, and our team will hang out here for a little bit if you have any additional questions. But
okay,
thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks,
thank you.
everyone. Great to see
Bye-bye.
you.